How's it going, Tyler?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Barry, we're late.
Yeah, man, we're late.
That's because John is gonna be 5 minutes late. So, but we decided to start without him.
Right.
Not to keep you guys waiting. All right. We want to talk about Rogue Invitational. A little bit of news, speculation there. Dubai, but going to start out first. A lot of questions last couple of weeks. It's happening. The barbell spin t-shirts, shirts are available. So
you did go without the bars.
Just the words. That was a hot topic, trying to decide whether or not to include the bars or not. But for now, the first edition barbell spin shirt. There's a regular t-shirt, crop tank, full muscle tank, and a racer back, all in the red colorway with black letters. So go over to vindicate.com. There's a link down in the comments. So make sure to check it out. Get yourself some good gear. That'll be on pre-order for the next about week and a half. So I think next Friday we'll cut it off. Give Travis some time to get those things made and get it out and ready before Rogue. So
they are great.
Go do that and get yourself a barbell spin red shirt. So Rogue Invitational.
The Rogue Invitational. Yeah.
The queue.
Filled with, and for the first time, the Rogue Invitational filled with controversy. I guess last year it was mostly the athlete's fault. Now it's Rogue's fault and the athlete's fault.
Well, Allegra R, shout out to the barbell spin for using clickbait to get us on. There's no clickbait about that. That thumbnail is, I think,
it's accurate.
Completely accurate. And we'll get to that in a minute. But I don't think it's clickbait, to be honest. All right. The queue is done. It wrapped up Monday night. And the men's leaderboard, Victor Hoffer, number 1. Ricky Garrard, Bill Leahy the 4th are technically tied in 2nd. Ricky moved up a point. Travis Mayer in 4th. So you call it top 5. And Georgios Karavis in 5th place right now.
Is it not Yorgos?
Yorgos? Yeah, probably is. I'm probably bad at mispronouncing.
I don't know. I don't know. I made somebody's name up a while ago, and now I feel weird every time I say their name, like I'm being a poser or something.
Yeah. But yeah. So Halpin, come on, Halpin. He asked someone close to Tia, and they said that it's a stretch. I don't know. All I know is that Bethany did not get an invite.
You know that they 100% reached a hand out and said you can come. There's no way that they would say that she couldn't.
That you can't, right? If they invited Annie last year, there he is.
What's up?
There he is.
Muscle tank time.
No, I just got back from the gym. This was the first thing I did was get on the show.
See, there we go. So yeah, I don't know if it's a stretch, Tia being invited. I mean, obviously it's not official yet, but all I know and I have confirmation is that Bethany has not received an invite yet.
Yeah, the sleight of hand that you're pulling is Tia and Bethany correlated, or is that one incident? Is Bethany not going because Tia got an invite and stuff like that? I don't think that it would seem appropriate. Did we lose spin?
I think we did.
Spin.
Yeah, he's probably.
Wow, we're on our own, John.
So what we're talking that Bethany didn't get an invite? Is that what we're talking?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
I feel like you can't not invite Tia.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
But it's pretty dirty.
There he is. You back?
I'm back.
That's all right. You were a little glitchy anyway. It was
Yeah.
15 better.
So hopefully it gets better.
Those are not my dogs, chat.
Those are mine. Those are mine. So hopefully Spin's dogs will join the chat here in a second. So what are you saying?
Yeah, John was saying that he agrees that there's no way they didn't lend her an invitation.
I mean, I think it's the right thing to do, honestly. Like, you know, and I know that I said, like, you know, Rogue always does this. They invite the top 15 and invite the 5. That's maybe it's not always been that way, but that is kind of the implied structure of what they've gone with and what they're kind of going with going forward. And so you expect to see that. And when you have Karen Freyova getting the invite in 14th, Will Mora was just announced in 14th as well. But knowing that Bethany has not received it, I mean, unless they're going to wait, I don't know.
So we have to wait until everybody accepts it too, correct? So
That is correct.
I feel like it will always backfill unless there's special circumstances. Like maybe, did Annie get an invite?
She was top 15.
So, okay. So Annie did.
So you're saying all of the athletes besides Bethany got an invite?
And Sam Quant and Sam Quant in 15th got an invite. So it's not like they're doing 14 just in total and they're going to do one wild card for whatever. Like Sam Quant in 15th got that.
I'm just saying, but no special guy got an invite.
Not right.
No, not if they're inviting Sam.
But I think Bethany will eventually get one. Everybody has to accept it for her not to get one. There's going to be somebody who doesn't do it, and then she'll get one. Unless they give
but
it to
her
like
not
now.
getting one right out the gate have you spoken to Bethany? I mean, let's just be candid about it.
I did. I asked her.
You haven't. And what did she say?
She said she
did not. Can you talk about that?
She said she did not receive the invite. I didn't go into whether or not she would accept it or not. I kind of think she may not, just because of trying to stay healthy for her back. But maybe it's in a better place and she's willing to do that. But regardless, I checked with her. I checked with those in 11 through 14. I didn't hear back from Annie, but I got Karen Freyova and who else? I got a couple others. So is
it because she changed her email to Flores? That's
maybe,
what it is.
Maybe.
They gave a Rogue invite to Sporty Beth.
Yeah, that was it. went to the
wrong Beth.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Sorry. Happens all the time. Shout out back to, if you listen to the Wadcast podcast, the Fittest Beth games. Nobody.
No.
Yeah, I got it. That's yeah.
Did you remember that?
If we find all the fittest Beths, who is the fittest Beth? And that's how they went.
Bethany Branham at the time, and then Bethany Shepard, now Bethany Flores.
That's a hard throwback, Tyler.
Yeah, dude. I love that. Those are the best days on the Wadcast podcast.
Yeah. So and I had some people reach out to me about Rogue because they shared number 14 Karen Freyova and number 14 Will Morad. In talking to Quant, he actually received it, but he's not going to be able to go because his wife is due with another child around that time. So he declined probably already. So that is why Will was the first one announced. I'm sure they're going 14 up to 1 and then whoever that special ad is, but I don't know who that would be on the men's side unless they go just to number 6 or
it's got to be Colton.
Go to 16.
Yeah, I mean, I think they go to 16. I think that's the most fair way. That's what they've done in the past. I think Bethany will eventually get one, but I don't find fault in them for inviting Tia and not inviting Bethany for that reason. She's the fittest.
Followers alone.
Well, just think about this. She is the fittest person in all of the world's history. Now, It sucks. I'm sorry, Bethany, but you're not the fittest person in the entire history of the world. You know what I mean? And I do think she'll get one. Everybody's not going to accept it.
And fully sponsored by Rogue.
Well, I mean, this is all this is an exhibition. This is what it is. It's the pro game, but there's so much discretion up to Rogue at this point. They're trying to play good faith on some of this stuff, but it's at the end of the day, they want people to come out to their show, right? So why not invite Tia? It's like no hard feelings, but this is the way the cookie crumbles.
If you're Tia, I don't know if you do this if you're Tia.
Why? Why do you say that, John?
I think if you're Tia, like you just had a baby, right? I think you trained the whole entire year to get ready for the games and to win the game. You know that's what you want to do. You want to win the games. You want to come back after having a baby and win the games, get 7, and then retire. That's what you want to do. Rogue means nothing in that grand scheme of things. And if anything, it's going to take a training. It's going to take one. You're going to deload training for Rogue, and then you're going to do Rogue, and then you're going to have a week of off training. So it takes 3 weeks out of almost a month of good training gains away from you. If you're Tia, and Tia doesn't need the money. I know Rogue is money. Tia's got millions of dollars. She doesn't need the money.
Honestly,
I think it would be bad for Tia to do it.
From a training's perspective, like she struggled last year, she wanted to compete. Now,
pregnant.
Obviously, it would have been probably the wrong thing to do, but like she really wanted to. So
if she comes back and does not win, and
that's great. That's great.
No, Tyler. I get that. That's great for the sport, but it's those
it's bad
things
for her legacy
that makes it. No, I don't care about her legacy. If she comes back and she does not win, it's because she did these things, like the type of things like this.
I would disagree when it comes to Rogue. Rogue's so far out. You can do this one and then go back in your cave. And that's something else I wanted to hit on is like
it still takes 3 weeks away. You'd be 3 weeks less fit than you would be have you not done Rogue.
Yeah, but she's already 8 light years fitter than everybody else.
Boy, dude, a pregnancy. You gonna tell me you know what a pregnancy does and it takes away from you in gains?
Look at Annie and Cara.
Yeah, it's not winning. It's different. It's different. Winning's different.
Greatest of all time. Go ahead.
Does she have to win if she comes back, or can she just go and have fun, get on the competition floor?
I'm not talking about Rogue.
Enjoy your time at Rogue.
I'm talking about the games.
What? You don't think she's gonna do well at the games?
No, I'm saying if she comes back and she doesn't win the games, it's going to be because she wanted to do competition. She wanted to compete. She took 3 weeks of what she could have had fitness gains and did it because she wanted to do a competition. I'm saying it takes away from what you could be at the games. I know it's all far away, but you have a pregnancy to get after.
So you're saying if she goes and actually does compete, if this is true, and she's in Austin, competes, you're going to change your rankings to put Laura number 1?
No, I'll still put Tia first. But if she does not win, it's because of things like that.
Who was saying the other day, I think it was somebody in the comments on Savon's show, it was like, you have to stop doing drills and just playing basketball or something like that. It's like she can rely on some of her fitness, I think, and it'll be fine. Like, they're so smart. I'm not doubting any of her fitness. If she went to the games and got second, I'm not going to be like, yep, because she went to Rogue. Like, no.
I think it's a part. What about Ricky? We'll get to that in a second of looking at the leaderboard.
Ricky's never won.
No, but if Ricky goes and competes at Rogue, there'll be 6.5 months after shoulder surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a bad decision for him? Even though if he's going out there, doesn't try to win.
Shoulder is not coming back from pregnancy.
It's the exact same thing, John. What are you talking about?
For Ricky, I think it's more like testing his shoulder, seeing what he can do, seeing if he can compete with it. I don't feel like it's the same thing with Tia. Does
he need to test it in a competition setting?
The heaviest competition?
Right. Like, can't he just go to Rogue or to Wadapalooza and do team in January and be happy?
Or Crash Crucible?
I'm just Dubai
out there.
And Tia can do Rogue and be happy. I just if I was Tia, I wouldn't do Rogue. I'd lock myself up in a cave for this whole entire year and come back and be unbeatable. I would not show weakness.
I don't think coming back 5 months, 6 months from pregnancy and taking 5th would show weakness.
If she gets 5th, I'm still like, that's great.
No. And I still, when I do too. Y'all aren't seeing what I'm saying.
I'm not following her.
I would still rank her first too. Rogue doesn't really matter for Tia. Same with Ricky. Like whatever he does, it doesn't really matter. Like to his games thing. I don't know. If it were me, I would not want to come back. I don't know. Maybe she comes back and she wins and she's great.
Barry, I'll get to it. I saw it. We went on to talk about Tia. So I guess when you talk about this, John, about like it doesn't matter. Like Tia doesn't need to do it. She just needs to like go off, train, and just come back for the games. I think about it and I go, is our season structure not optimal? We've talked about this like every 4 years or something like, but if you're saying like it's worth it to just bury yourself in a hole, don't show weakness, don't go out and compete and be out in front of the on the competition floor for your sponsors when you're at that level, like Medeiros didn't go out and do anything. Like, are we doing a disservice to the fans and the sport by saying just go compete twice a year on the floor, semifinals and the games? That's it. Like, I feel like we need a better season structure if that's kind of how we're going to be.
I don't know what you're asking.
I don't even know if I agree. So your main point was what? This whole argument is really an argument about season structure, is what you're saying.
The sport can't grow if the top of the top only say,
we need like 15 competitions. We're going to have this argument again.
All I care about is that I win the games. If I'm a podium athlete, like who cares about Rogue? Who cares about Wadapalooza? Let that be for the rest of it, the second tier.
This is like that Snoop Dogg joke about how he won the game and now he's just doing side missions. I feel like Tia is the same thing. Like, just start doing side missions. You've proven your legacy. Snoop Dogg's proven his legacy, and so now just start doing side missions. See if you can win what they call the Triple Crown before anybody even officially labels it the Triple Crown.
Is she doing Dubai too?
Why not? Just go for it. Post pregnancy.
Wadapalooza in the games.
and down under. Just do them all.
That would be really cool. Man, I don't think anyone would ever do that ever again.
Just win
even
everything.
More. I think that would be even harder than winning the game 7 times in a row. All of those in the same year.
I think a year ago,
Wadapalooza, the games, and Rogue. Those 4.
A year ago, she
no. Dubai, Wadapalooza, Down Under, and Rogue.
I don't think Down Under means anything. She could show up and win that. Like, it's not.
Throwing shade in Australia.
So like the game. So the games, Rogue, Dubai, and Wadapalooza. Those are the 4 big. Winning all of those, you think that's harder than winning 7 years in a row?
Yes, in the same year.
I think Matt Fraser could do it. Any single year Matt Fraser wanted to do it, he could do it. If he just went out and tried, he could do it.
I don't know. I feel like that's pitching the perfect game. I don't know, man.
If you're the fittest person, you're still the fittest person. They had such a leap on everybody. I think it's.
Yeah, but you're not just talking about your fitness now. You don't get sick. If you do get sick, you're able to handle it. You're no injuries. Like training, you already said
it's hard to do. But you could say the same thing for winning the game 7 years in a row. You weren't sick one time during that year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think winning
that's 1 week out of the year, though.
Way harder.
The only point I agree with John. The only thing I would say with with Tyler is they test differently, right? Like Rogue programs differently than Dubai, right? So
how many times did Matt
differently
win
than
Rogue?
I don't know, a lot.
how many times he was 100% in Dubai. I don't think he ever did Wadapalooza, but I'm banking that he would have won that too.
That's the only thing I would say is that it does test differently. Now, I think they're both well above the rest, and we're going to win regardless. But I would say winning 7 years in a row, 6 years in a row is more.
That
impressive.
longevity is crazy. Like to never
be hurt,
never
have a one bad weekend over 7 years.
Or your bad weekend is just so much better than everybody else's good weekend.
Yeah.
You heard it.
I heard what?
You heard it. You heard it, Tia. You need to do this to prove, basically to
just
prove
come
me
back.
right.
Just
I
come
need
back
you
and
to
do
screw
everything.
this up so that I'm right.
Sure. All right. If Quant doesn't, here we go. Halpin. See, he agrees with me. Enter the PFA in a true 12-month structure that incentivizes participation. See, I could get on board with something like that, but
that's not biased at all. But anyway, what?
Hey, now, I like it. All right, let's go back all the way up to make sure Barry gets his super chat in.
Will Leahy, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, Barry McCockner,
Flash
$4.99.
Don't answer it and just move on. We'll come back to it later.
Another
online.
I
like. Hold on. I like how it says $4.99 from Barry McCockner. Like that has to be in the message.
Yeah, that's how it comes through. Another online comp where Leahy fails to beat the standards. So,
do y'all want to enlighten people on
Billiam?
Yeah, Bill's performance.
Wow, Bill.
Yeah, Tyler.
I just know that he kind of skirted the standards. Like the one that I'm really familiar with is the rope climb. Is that he was doing it right, sort of, but also wrong, sort of. But to me, if it's like that, that's on Rogue. Now the other stuff, that was the part that I really focused on Hiller's video. I wasn't sure about the other parts.
Can you explain?
I just
I
know
haven't
that
seen the video.
So you're asking for yourself?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. I know he skirted standards on several things. Maybe Barry knows the exact instances, but the one that I'm talking about, so Hiller did a video on basically everybody was screwing up the standards, and he really honed in on William Leahy, so it was all themed on Kill Bill.
Nice.
So anyway, the one that I really thought was neat, and I thought this was really like athletic on his point, was he figured out how to control the descent sort of, but like descend fast with both hands touching the rope at the bottom. I thought it was a neat innovation. I really wanted like to tip my hat to that, but the other stuff I don't know about. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was you have to have both hands touching the whole time, and then your feet have to touch. So under control, and have your hands touch. And so like there are quite a few videos that I've seen where that distinction of how you come down and then have control, and whether one hand's touching, both hands touching, then your feet touch. Did you come down and have your hands just like touching the rope, or were you actually holding on to it? Like it's a very vague standard that I don't know if anybody fully knows.
We can get back on this in a minute. Do y'all think it's way too much as far as like the standards go?
Yeah,
like
I remember
way too much measurements, way too much.
I
have to do it like this. Go ahead.
I wanted to go to that. Look at this. This is workout 4. So 10-to-1 of wall facing handstand push-ups and snatches. I mean, pretty simple.
Yep.
2 movements. We've seen them before. And it is literally page after page after page, 10 freaking pages of descriptions.
And you're not knocking Rogue for this. These 10. This is the standard now, is that you have to write all this out. I wouldn't knock them for writing. This is the game that we've set up. Or are you knocking them?
I hate it.
I'm knocking
I don't
Rogue.
like that.
Rogue's the one who's doing the competition. I mean, yeah, I feel this way. I feel this way about the Open too. So like if you want to bring up them,
that's what I'm saying.
I feel
is
like
the standard
in general,
we've set forth
as the CrossFit community, I think
How many
people are
pages is
This is 10 pages.
Are way too bent up on or bent out of shape on standards. You know what I mean? Like squat depth is a good thing to have a standard on. You need to hips need to pass parallel, below parallel, not at parallel, below parallel, right? But other than that, just I don't think you need lines. I think if people are innovative enough to make transitions, like your rower under your toe bar, you are fit enough that you can just immediately go and do toes to bar and then immediately row. You know how much like grip damage that does on somebody, the lack of transition? If you're fit enough to do that, I think you should be able to express that. The fact that you're more creative with your transitions than other people, or you're capable of it. Like, I don't think there needs to be all these standards. You just do your handstand push-ups. They have to be wall facing. You can't really mess that up. Your hands got to be on the line. That's it. Right? That's it. And then snatches, we're not squatting. Like, that doesn't say you have to squat. There's no way you can ruin this workout. Just do that workout, have your hands on the line. That's it.
Yeah.
I could do this in half a page. And I feel like we get so bent out of shape.
I think you're conflating multiple issues into one giant issue. So it's like, okay, the lines, I would agree. The lines are, I think, like back in the day, it was like if you screwed up because your transitions were too long, like that was on you. Like you should have just not set it up that way. So I never really, like, for the people who would sit under, or they would do toes to bar on top of a rower and then just immediately drop back into the rower off the toes to bar. Like, fine, if you want to do that, that's fine. To me, like, you have to write these out because people are liable to win money, right? You have to have these standards. You have to be able to go back and say, hey, this is why we cut you. This is why we pulled you out. That way they can't come back and say, hey, you unfairly applied a standard that wasn't written.
So in what way, when what I'm saying would defeat that purpose?
It's a thruster. It's a thruster. We all know what that is.
Okay,
right, but it's not
a thruster. Your hips, gotta be below parallel, and you have to be locked out of the top. And then you're at the discretion of CrossFit's video analysis.
Okay, if you want to put in,
and then you put Hiller in charge of it. That's it. Put Hiller in charge of movement analysis, and then he'll hand out the penalties. Would you not be okay with that? And then have just like half a page of standards.
I mean, look at this.
Like a lunge, you have to stand up all the way at the top every single time of a lunge. A legless rope climb, you can drop down from the top. If that's what you want to do it.
But you're not playing this out practically. So say CrossFit's judging this thing and they have, 100 judges involved, and they're all, and they, and CrossFit has this line, it's up to CrossFit's discretion on what the standards are if you met the standard. And someone just denies you reps or docks you, and you clearly did the reps the right way, and CrossFit stands by them. You can't go by and argue, how am I not meeting these standards? Because they're not written. So I think it protects the athletes as much as it, protects CrossFit.
See, I think it hurts the athletes that do it correctly in the first place. Like Patrick Vellner's V-ups, him getting docked for his V-ups because his feet weren't together in a perfect fashion at a 90-degree angle. And that's why he gets docked reps on V-ups. Like, I think it hurts the people that actually do it right, because it feels like CrossFit just picks the people they want to penalize anyway. Does it not feel like that? Some people get away with stuff, some people don't.
Well, I mean, it goes back to what, I can't remember who in CrossFit said it, but it was like, well, we don't expect them to read everything. Well, if there's 11 freaking pages, of course not. Right? Like, they're using common sense of what they're going to penalize and what they're not going to. And so it says nobody can touch the rower, or nobody can touch the rower unless we tell you can, or your equipment. But then people do touch it. And it's like, well, that was understood. Like, you could do it this time. So like, the more things you have in this, the harder it is to actually judge and do fairly.
Yeah, but like, look at any other, and I'm gonna slap myself on the wrist before I even make this comparison, because I hate comparing us to every other sport. But look at every other sport; their rule books are this big, right? Peter and I have been texting through the weekend, Pedro from Coffee Pods and Wads. And he's been asking me about football because he's been watching the Swamp, whatever.
Does he not know how football works?
No.
He wasn't familiar with all
That's
the ins and
great.
outs of it.
That's
Like
so
how
fantastic.
basically like how did the national champions get to the national championship like back then?
Character?
Yeah, he was asking me everything. And so I was kind of, and then like he was like, so he was like, do they get paid? And I was like, well, no, but like they didn't really get paid back then. And he was like, so the coaches don't make money either. And I was like, no, they make a lot of money.
like $7 million or $9 million, something like that. Is that hot?
What are we doing here?
Are you with me, Brian, or are you with Tyler?
I'm 100% with you. Like 11 pages is insane. Like, do we need how many bullet points for a dumbbell box step over?
Like, I just think of like the 20, like you go back to 2013, 2014, like that kind of era. Yes, you do have people that cheat. Like, it's easier to cheat when there's not 11 pages of standards, right? It is. I think that's what Tyler's trying to get at. But
well,
it's easy to catch. Like, you can catch those people. And I mean, at the top of the spear, it doesn't affect those people at all because their scores are better anyway.
I think you're right though, because if you do follow this to the T, but somebody else doesn't, man, you're out, then John's out.
We're having problems.
If you follow these rules to a T, but somebody doesn't, and it's a minor, it's something that's not that, like your foot's on the line when you start, right? Like, and you don't get penalized on it, or somebody touches the rower when it says you're not supposed to. Minor in the scheme of things, but you get penalized by following the rules step by step. And when some of these people are doing 15, 20 minutes of weighing plates and showing every single thing you have to do before you do the workout is insane.
Question. This is something I've been wondering, and this is something I do all the time. I'm not good enough for it to matter. But in the open, I film all of my standards after because I hate that. I hate warming up and then being like, okay, let's take a 10-minute break to friggin' like get all this stuff measured and get out of the zone and all that stuff. So I measure after. I don't understand why you don't have to measure before. And I've never seen it written where you have to.
My phone will run out of battery sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's better to do it before then. I'm with you. I kind of just depends on the vibe. I'll be honest with you. If it's like a sprinty workout, I'll do it before just because I know
it's usually easier.
That's about to come.
Right.
You know what I mean? If it's a long workout, I'll do it after. But and like the weighing the weights thing, do you know how annoying it is to weigh every single weight on the scale and then start your workout?
Yeah.
The point.
Look at this right here. A walk around of the C2 rower, ensuring it is not weighted or fixed down in any way, is one of your.
You're telling me we need that, Tyler. You're in favor of that.
I'm not in favor of it, but I mean the weights thing. I knew this. We've known that was coming for 10 years.
All sides of the box.
One side could be shorter than the other, Brian.
I don't know why you have to measure all sides of the box, but I mean, like. I just don't see a professionalized sport where you guys are right.
The problem is,
and like the weighing the sandbag, I'll let you go, Brian. But the weighing the sandbag, I don't care if your sandbag is 146 pounds. You do not get an advantage from 146 pounds to 150 pounds.
When do you care? 140?
That would be no. The sandbag is the one where I think it's the most important. Like at this level, that's
give
the
a
only
5%. Give a 5% weight range.
The only reason I say that is because it's up to the athlete or wherever you're at to actually fill it. But if you're buying equipment and you're at this level of Rogue, and I'm talking about just Rogue right now, like it's the top of the top. Do we think that Travis Mayer is going to cheat on the weight of his dumbbell? Like he's going to Sharpie in, 45 instead of 50-pound dumbbells? No. Or 50, like it's not going to happen at this level. So like I think we've gone too far. Like,
I don't know, dude.
There's one thing with rules. I'm talking about Rogue right now.
Yeah,
but we don't need.
Just because everybody's good and honest right now doesn't mean they'll always be that way.
So, but this is like saying, all right, we go to the NFL rule book, and every game before we start, you have to have a whole team go out and go, let's measure to make sure that everything is exactly 100 yards. And the width is exactly whatever. And the football is, the PSI is perfect.
No.
and,
they do
and,
measure that, though.
And the field goal post. But you have to measure it. Like, you have to start
every single game.
Every
game, you have to measure the field goal post to make sure it's
exactly the right height. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the same width. The flags are kiltered in a certain way.
The uprights aren't leaning in or out. You got to measure the top and the bottom.
The pylon weighs 2.5 pounds. It cannot weigh 2.4 pounds.
Right.
2.5 pounds. So it can.
Great analogy. And they could potentially change every single time. Like, so it comes out on the Sunday morning and it's like, oh, it's 3 inches shorter. Go adjust everything because we're going to change the standards this time. It's too cumbersome.
I don't know a professional sport where there is this, Tyler.
Yes, there is. Powerlifting's exactly like this. They have to calibrate all the weights. Official powerlifting meets.
Yeah, they do that. The powerlifters do not do that. They show up to the competition, they lift.
Yeah,
the event does
how
that.
Would you suggest in our sport that we accomplish the same thing? And
because it's online. Powerlifting, I guess they have online stuff, but the big ones aren't online.
I don't know if they do. Do they have online?
Okay, so are we getting rid of the online stuff then?
No, you have to have this qualifier. I'm saying when you get to the show, everybody's on the same page. But getting to the show, I don't think all of this.
I want you to run a competition and implement your rules, and I will beat anyone you can put in a competition.
What do you mean?
I will bend and break every single rule, and you won't be able to tell me no because you won't have a rule book to follow up on. I'll buy the most convincing looking 45-pound plates that are 2.5s you've ever seen in your life. I will cheat until there's no cheating left to be done.
And then you will come to the real competition and everybody will know that you are a cheater.
I got my show. I got my followers. I did my thing. All I'm saying is it doesn't matter.
It doesn't work if you are last place when you get there. It doesn't work.
Somebody else missed out on a trip because I cheated and they didn't know that at the time.
They know when you get there because you're worse than everybody.
Yeah, when I got there, but when I get there, it's too
I ran a 4.5K, not a 5K.
Yeah.
All I'm saying, I appreciate the sentiment that you guys are getting to. I do think it's cumbersome and it's really aggravating, but I don't know the other way around it. I really don't.
I think you just do what you did in the past, like 2014 back then, and then you just deal with the cheaters as they come. There were a lot of people that cheated their way to regionals, a lot of people. And people can tell you stories of how like their 20-pound wall balls were 5-pound wall balls and they wrote 20 pounds on them. But when they get to regionals, they were last place and it's very evident. And Hiller has like an encyclopedia on these people. And you will have those people like make semifinals. And I think any single time that there's an outlier, that person should be investigated by somebody. And then if you can find proof that they're cheating, then they're not allowed, they're 4-year ban. You know what I mean? And like, that's how you would handle it.
Yeah. Sorry, Tyler. I don't agree. So
it's okay. You don't have to agree. I just
Halpin stands with you.
You would Halpin.
That's
not fair. You know, Halpin and Tyler are like this. He's always going to back him up.
Yeah, 100%.
This might be. I've gotten like 6 texts off of this rant right here, so we might really be on a friggin' thing here.
Well, that text thread, I walked in on like 147 texts.
Not this. That
and I was like, guys, I can't read any of this right now.
I'm just wondering, like, how would you guys feel about this during the Open? There's no way that we're gonna like.
I wouldn't care.
Dude, there's so many people who are gonna cheat.
Not at the
like
top
during
of the
quarterfinals, especially you, John. You're
John,
in a
this is how you're going to make it to the semifinals, John.
That's how I make it. I'm the cheater.
In semifinal or in quarterfinals, I would consider.
I think you should film all of your workouts. That's not. I think you should film all of your workouts. That's not what I'm saying. You should have to film your workouts. I just think, and there should be standards. I'm not saying there's no standards. I just think they've gone way overboard on the standards.
You can't. I don't understand why they haven't done the plates thing sooner. I don't know. I know why CrossFit doesn't do it because it's cumbersome, but I don't understand why they don't do it. Because, I mean, they're not going to do it because a lot of people are just going to not sign up because they can't weigh their plates. But in a really fair competition, that's how it should be done. I don't like it, but it's part of the purchase of playing the sport.
I'm fine. I'm fine with the people that want to cheat. They'll get found out eventually versus making you go through 11 pages of notes to do a workout.
I don't know, dude. Let's beat this dead horse a little longer.
So Hiller brought up, and here's where I struggle with it. So Hiller brought up Danny Spiegel not having the line the right spot, right? But if you actually, if you look at the standards and you go in here and you read it, it says right here, a line 30 inches long, 2 inches wide, placed 10 inches from the wall to the outside of the tape line, right? So that's what Hiller is saying. However, if you go all the way to the picture, it says 10 inches to the front of the nearest side of the tape line.
That's how it was in the open, though.
No, they have the line, but the arrow goes all the way to the outside of it. It's very clear. So like this is where having so many different like nitpicky things, you can't catch everything. And that's where the errors come into play. You're making it too difficult. If, you know, we have no idea what Laura Horvath and Gabby Magala did during quarterfinals with the tape line, but like,
we have no idea what they did. How did they make it?
well, no, because they got penalized, right, for not having something. We don't know, but like, this is like, yes, you need a standard, but if it was less things to worry about, other than all you need to know is that you have a tape line, it needs to be this.
Question:
We know what snatches are, and this wasn't even like you didn't have to wall walk up. It was literally just flip your body up and get to it. So like, there's one standard that we need to know, and that's how far the tape line, what the tape should be. That's it. Nothing we need to know about the snatch. Like, we don't need to say it has to start from the ground. Obviously,
and I don't like that it has to be 8 feet from the thing. I don't like the spacing. Like, just go do it. Everything has to be videoed. Go do it.
How about this? Damn, I'm about to side with friggin' Brent. Okay, couple things. Number one, I don't like that the barbells are weird. Like, this looks like child's barbells in here. That's just an odd point that I wanted to make.
That's your issue?
Number two, are they serious with the spare plates thing? Do you have to lay them out like that? Is that a thing that you can get vetoed for?
Yes. If they're not 6 inches apart, you can get penalized. 37 reps.
Shut up.
Okay. That's my point, Tyler. You don't even know what's right. You don't even know.
You are just making up lies.
Because you got to read a freaking encyclopedia to do a workout. It's ridiculous. Just go do it.
Okay, so let's find middle ground here. If we had a rule book, a CrossFit standards rule book, so that when snatch is written, it is expected that you do this, and we can refer back to that rule book at any time. Now, this saves space in a workout description where they say snatch. You don't have to write out all this bullshit. We just refer back to
I'm fine with that. I'm fine
with that. You like that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
It never changes, and you can focus on less stuff. Like
having a CrossFit rule book.
Yes.
Wall balls, and you have everything that's in it.
Yeah.
Anytime
you refer to the rule book at any point that you want to get penalized, or we want to penalize somebody, I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, but like, we have to weigh everything, but we have to have the plates have the weights printed on them. That doesn't matter. Like, we're making lines for nothing. Like, we're making it more complicated.
You're not allowed to huff your hand grips, but you actually are, because nobody's going to worry about it. You know what I mean? Like, That's my point. Just do muscle ups. Your grips don't matter. If somebody's better at doing the Dow than another person, they deserve to get that advantage. They worked on that.
Yeah.
I agree with you all. I think
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
it's just there has to be standards, and I think you all are being a bit cavalier with. I mean, you're saying it a bit facetiously, where there's a vibe of just throw it all out the fucking window.
That's not what I'm saying at all.
I know, but that's the way people will take it.
No, I'm saying we're doing a workout here with handstand push-ups and snatches, and we have 10 pages. Like 7 of those are descriptions and like just detail after detail after detail, and it makes it too complicated. Like we don't need to know nothing about the snatch needs to be on here. Like what the movement pattern is for a snatch. If we don't know it at the Rogue Invitational,
if somebody does a clean and jerk in their video doesn't count.
The entire video.
It's not hard.
So $1.99 from Wad Zombie. I'm going to read it just because it's $1.99, but I don't. But I completely disagree.
No, that you have to be like Savon. If somebody pays you money, that's your opinion.
That's no. Tyler wins. You lose. Next subject. I think you're wrong, Nick, but thank you for the $1.99. It's just too much, and hopefully we figure out a way. We need to figure out a way to slim it down. Whether there's something that's off, like a set in stone. Here's what it is, and then actually focus on what actually matters. Fine, but we can't throw everything in there and expect these guys to go do 4 workouts in 4 days. With different standards, different distances, all that stuff. Like, get rid of that. If you want to be an idiot and do snatches under a rig next to the wall with the rower between your legs, like, who cares? Like, you're an idiot. Go for it. Like,
this reminds me of when I think I wrote an article for USpin once upon a time. And
it's behind a paywall.
Yes, behind a paywall. And I think I sent you the first draft, and you were basically like, this is real wordy. And then like I took it back and got rid of about half of it and then sent it back, and you're just like, still too wordy. And then I basically rewrote the whole thing in half the space.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like they didn't hand this to someone and say, okay, it's like I think it's the Toyota way. It's like they create an engineering process and then they say, okay, now cut it in half. Yeah. And then now cut it in half again. They never went through that process with it.
Whoever wrote these standards didn't actually see what it takes to actually meet these standards.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we want to be as thorough as possible.
Josh Bridges did not write these standards.
Oh, 100% not. 100% not. Like,
let the maker of the workout do the standards. Why?
Yeah, it's part of the bad part. It's like you get to do the fun part and write the workout, but you also have to do the not so fun part.
Right. Yeah, I guarantee whoever wrote this didn't actually walk through it and go, all right, let me get all my tape out and let me get a camera and let me walk through weighing 1,000 pounds of plates so that I could have 4 different barbells for the snatch workout. Like, no.
2 hours later, their phone dies and they have to restart the whole thing.
Right. All right, good transition, Julian. $1.99. Does Colton make it? Justin BKG, Roman won't go. So I think that the simple answer is I don't maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
We don't know. I think he probably should, but I have no idea.
So we know Sam Quant is going to decline his invite, which means that Noah Olson should get it. We only need 2 more.
I see you're going off that one.
That's Colton what they go off of. They backfill off of that after the game's finished. They don't backfill off their qualifier.
Oh, interesting. I think
they've always.
If I know, but if I were Bill and Katie, I almost wouldn't. That people are gonna hate me for this. I almost wouldn't because he did so bad in the qualifier.
No, I mean I think this is the most fair way.
I disagree.
It's how you ensure the fittest. It's how you ensure the fittest athletes get to your competition.
Yeah, that would
the games is testing fitness.
Then what does that mean about their qualifier?
That they have 4 workouts, and the games had 15 workouts. The games test your fitness ability way more than the Rogue qualifier. It's 4 workouts. All right. Fikowski in the Open, which is 4 workouts, is like 3,000th place. You're telling me 3,000 people are fitter than him? No.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is Jason Hopper killed Colton in this.
That's cool for Jason Hopper. He was 31st place in the games. That's his fault.
Hey, let's focus on the more important stuff. Jackie Millie Mal made her TikTok public. So
was it private before?
No idea.
I don't have TikTok. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But thank you, Jackie, for anybody that does TikTok. Go check out Mal.
TikTok reporter Jackie for Barbell Spin. Thank you.
Yeah. Our TikTok correspondent. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine Roman competes in 2 months. I would agree that's probably a bad idea. So you have 2. That would leave Noah and Spencer. You need 1 more to decline.
He definitely gets it then.
You think 1 more does?
Yeah.
You think Medeiros competes?
No.
I don't know. I think
my heart of hearts says no.
Yeah.
Do you think Bailey Martin does?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Why would you pass that up?
I don't know.
Yeah, especially for Bailey. You gotta make hay with all the sunshines, man.
Most of it or all of it is comp, depending on how much it costs to get over here.
That's
Plus
fair.
your guaranteed money.
No, you make good points.
Your hotel's covered. Like, yeah, you may not walk away with too much of it if you end up in like the bottom 10, but you're still walking away with some good money.
He said BKG.
Yeah, because he had the back injury or psoas or
he
whatever.
said it was like a spasm, though. It wasn't like an injury. It just happened sometimes.
Yeah, but I mean,
but he'd have to deload, and he'd have to take a week to compete, and then take a week to get back. Like he'd lose 3 weeks of training and healing to get back.
That's a very good point. It's a very good point. I agree with you. 100%, Brian. Julian.
I need to start figuring out John's lines and then just work them into my arguments so he agrees with me.
Julian Ifford said Justin's not going. He said it in this video.
Okay.
Who's that? Oh, okay. Justin said it in his video. I was like, okay.
Yeah, Julian's not going to Rogue, guys. We're not going to be seeing him. It's unfortunate.
I thought Julian said it in his video, and I was like, "Who the hell is Julian? And why should we care?"
Hey, he paid $1.99, so he can answer his own question. So I mean, that Colton makes it. That'd be cool. I am surprised though that he didn't do as well on the qualifier.
Me too.
Where is he at? What did he do bad?
He's not even on the first page.
Well, what did he do?
He's 20.
By the way, this leaderboard is terrible.
Right. There's some other issues there.
Why don't you just click on workout by workout? Because I bet there's just one workout that he bombed.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he bombed multiple workouts. Unless he just.
Here we go.
There you go.
So this one was which one?
The cluster bar muscle up workout.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I thought he would do good on that one. Okay, workout 1B.
Overhead squat.
There he is, all the way down here.
Okay, so 255.
Yeah.
Oh, I was looking at his scores, Brian.
And then that's another thing, I guess, is that these will tie break each other. 1 and 2 will tie break each other, so there's going to be some sorting out to do because of that, and that's not currently in the equation.
His workout 2 was really bad.
And then you have, he did pretty well in workout on the overhead squat.
Yeah,
expected. Workout 2 was
2042.
Yeah, not on page 1. If you're on page 2,
you're not good enough.
You're not going to get there.
What was workout 2?
Workout 2 was. Let me look on one of these pages of standards. It was the down and back chipper.
Oh yeah, he's not going to be good.
Yeah.
He's not going to be good at that one. Yeah.
Workout
3 is the rope climb one. We thought he'd be good at this one.
Again.
Didn't I say Travis would win that workout, by the way?
I don't care about anything about Travis Mayer.
Yeah.
Tyler.
11:55.
I hope Travis Mayer does wonderful at Rogue just to hype you up because the letdown is going to be epic.
Even better when he gets top 5 of the games and you got to eat your shorts.
Yeah. How hard is it for these guys, though, coming off and doing this pretty tough qualifier
right after the games?
3 weeks after the games?
Not hard, man.
Compared to somebody like Travis.
You just said that.
So compared to somebody like Travis, who's had, months to prepare for this.
Oh, I mean, like Travis might be in like a fitter cardiovascular shape, but like as far as like doing the qualifier, it's not hard for them to do.
I'm just saying to perform as well. Like I'm just surprised at the list here. Like no one went to the games this year on the men's side.
That's a great point.
Made it right. You have to get all the way down to number 10 for Hopper, and then you go way down in Sprague's.
He didn't really do the games.
Right. Right. You only had a couple days of games. So
it's not hard for them to do the qualifier, Nick. Gosh, it's 4 workouts. Keep up.
I just don't know if they can compete at the level of these other guys. Like,
because they're gonna take 2 weeks where they're just doing nothing.
Yeah.
How did the women's? Can we look at the women's?
Mannon's the only one that made it, and then Christine's right there in 6th.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a bunch of people who aren't going to do very good at the games.
I think it's tough to have that kind of turnaround, and what it it concerns me about Wodapalooza next year in September. Like, and I don't know what they're doing for qualifying, how that structure is going to work.
The one in California?
Yeah.
Right? I don't think it's going to take off, man.
From the elite standpoint?
Yeah. I think it's just I think it'll be like a Crash Crucible. You know what I mean? Like which is still a big competition, but like it's not Wodapalooza. You know what I mean? I just don't think it's going to get very big. I
don't think that Dylan and Loud and Live would put all this energy into it because they've had the same thoughts as you. I don't know. I tend to do this where I assume people have walked through the same mental gymnastics that I have, but
like if you watched
September after the games, it's a month away.
If you watch Dallin Pepper on Pedro this afternoon, they talked about Wodapalooza, and it sounded like Dallin's like, there's no way I'm doing individual and team anymore. He's like, I'm doing team. Like, it was just too much. Like, you gotta pick. You gotta pick.
He said that.
Oh, you mean at regular Wodapalooza?
Yeah, regular Wodapalooza, right? I could see him
did that last year.
I could see him teaming up and starting to just do more team based. Yeah. But even then, like it's going to be for more fun, and then you're going to have people that didn't qualify who are going to go hard trying to get some limelight.
Right, and then they might.
I love the individual team concept that they did last year. I get it's very hard on the athletes, but I thought it was managed as well as it could have been. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was really, really, really fun. And
it was fun. I just don't.
I get it. If it's too much, it's too much.
Yeah. I just thought last year, I was like, this is just too much. So many athletes pulled out before we even got in there.
That's how it has to be, though, if you're going to pull that off.
Yeah.
You need a full individual competition. You need a full team competition. I mean, it was 7 events each. Like, I mean, it's like games like volume, but when you're not games like prepared.
Yeah.
Which is pretty, I mean, I could imagine.
I mean,
that's not fun, but
yeah, and now you're thinking like, all right, I've taken a few weeks off. I'm going to come back at the end of October or the middle of September and go do Wodapalooza. And then a month and a half later, I'm going to go to Rogue and do another whole freaking weekend. That's 10 plus events.
Freaking weekend.
Like, and then I'm going to probably commit to Wodapalooza in January. Like,
maybe that's how they could gear it up. Is for
that's what you guys want. Y'all won all the competitions.
I
want them well placed. It's just
Right.
tough.
I just don't like how the season is structured right now, where you have to be fully ready by February.
Yeah, I don't
And I
either.
know
Would
they're
you
not.
condense the open,
Even more.
quarterfinals and semifinals, and then the games? That would be the answer because
I think
Yes, I've been saying this forever. That the break between semifinals and the games is so long.
it is.
yeah.
So like, would you? I think you keep the open and quarterfinals like how it is. Like it's a continuation.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we would call that June or May. We'll call that May 1st.
Yeah.
And then semifinals would be in
Early June,
and then the games would be late July.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that works out. You have a month in between things. It's hard. It's hard because like you're not going to deload and you're not going to take a week off. You know what I mean? Like you would previously.
Yeah.
It's hard to make gains. So what you're doing is you're making the schedule much more flexible, more competitions, more stuff for
You're
everybody.
prioritizing the off season.
But there is not going to be any gains made once it starts. Once semifinals
season starts. Yeah.
Yeah. Does that make sense? Like everybody's just kind of going to be what they are. It's hard to make gains in between there because it's not enough time.
I don't think they make that many gains. I think they just get more prepared. Like
they
more peak than anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You're probably right.
If anything, they more easily find the fittest because you're not going to be able to be bad. You know what I mean? Like your turnaround, like only the best athletes are going to make that turnaround.
Right. Adam S. Will the California Wadapalooza kill Madrid?
I think the people who are going to the California Wadapalooza were not going to Madrid.
Right.
Agreed.
I mean, Madrid is a huge community event. Like it's bigger than Wadapalooza.
And it's very European.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like the Europeans that do Madrid, they're not doing California Wadapalooza. California Wadapalooza is just going to be West Coast America.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's going to be.
Isn't there like 3,000 athletes or something that go to Madrid?
Yeah, it's the largest competition in the world. They had the most.
Yeah.
So it's very community based. That's why all the workouts last year were like 7 minutes or shorter.
Is it like a Europe Wadapalooza?
Yes. Yeah.
But bigger.
But bigger, yeah.
But I'm just saying, like that's what it is. Like
it's like a European Buc-ee's.
I don't know if everybody knows what Buc-ee's is.
I don't know.
Look it up.
Do you know what it is, Brian?
I do. I've been there once, and I don't want to go again.
Pussies. Yeah, it's the first time. I think everybody should go one time, but I about had a panic attack in that place.
It's an experience.
It's never not packed.
For those who don't know, it's this massive gas station with everything in it.
It sounds so lame.
It probably has like 100 pumps, 70 pumps.
Oh,
of
yeah,
gas.
Got it.
And you have to park and walk a minute to 2 minutes to get into the front door because the parking lot's so big. And you go inside and there's like candy stations and places
what's
to
a
eat.
really nice gas station?
Tacos.
A really nice one that's like a bigger gas station.
There's nothing.
No, I know there's nothing comparable, but what is a big
like Jet
station?
or Love's? Like
Love's,
those are the biggest. Yeah.
So like if you take Love's, and I would say triple it.
More than that.
At the smallest, yeah, it's like 5 or 6
You
times.
think quadruple Love's?
Yeah.
Not pumps. I'm just talking the actual.
No,
I think all of it. I think all of it. Yes.
Okay. Quadruple a Love's, and then that's what Buc-ee's is.
Yeah.
It's the
they have their own kind of like buffet of like meats in there too.
Yeah. Tacos, burritos. I characterize it as the most American thing that probably exists. It has to be. I don't think anybody cares about gas stations like we do.
So this one opened up in Sevierville. It's the
Is this the one you went to?
We drove past it recently.
Yeah, it's the new biggest one, right?
Yeah, it's like the biggest in the.
So in Katy,
anywhere.
Texas, we have the second biggest one.
Really?
Yeah, where I live.
Yeah, 120 gas pumps. It's a 74,000 square foot building. Like It's like going into like a Walmart, but it's a gas
It's like
station.
bigger than the Rogue Invitational
That's
gas station.
Yeah.
even a large CrossFit gym. That's 7 large CrossFit gyms.
Yeah, it is. It is wild. So if you're in the Southeast, definitely go check it out.
Definitely go. There's one north of Georgia or Atlanta too.
Anything else on Rogue?
Until we know like the events and who's. I mean, it's pretty much. I don't think there's going to be anything until we know the events.
Yeah,
I know I've been wanting to like game prep and get stuff out for Heat 1. It's really aggravating because it's like I can't really do anything.
You can't do anything till the events.
Yeah, we're several weeks out. I mean, we're a long way out still, but it's like, man, it's hard.
yeah. Is Trish here? Is Trish in the comments?
Is Trish alive?
I don't know.
Is Trish real?
Yes, she's 100% real.
No, that picture with Philip is fake. 100%.
No, 100% real. It's so real. I'm going to believe that it's really her.
I'm this close to going on a conspiracy theory like dive into Trish. Trish, if you're real, I'm going to find you out very soon. I can't stand this anymore. I will know who you are. Is this like when you get in the mirror and say Bloody Mary 3 times while Trish
shows up right behind you?
It's pretty crazy. Like, we don't know who she is.
Yes.
It does feel like a myth, doesn't it? It does feel like an urban legend.
This is going to hype whoever Trish is up too much. There was like a good, I think you might have been around for it, John, but there was like a good 30-minute conversation about who Trish might be.
Oh,
like,
yeah, I was
people
there.
just batting around. Yeah. Yeah. People just batting around ideas.
It's
anyway.
It's Trish.
It's Trish.
There she is.
So I thought this picture
was
was
supposed to be on the left, right? That's supposed to be Trish.
Yeah.
You just need to find out who that person is, Tyler.
It's Trish.
It's Philip's wife or something with somebody else's face.
No way. I refuse to believe it. I refuse to believe it.
I feel a Photoshop vibe right now, Brian.
She's all of us.
Trish is all of us.
I wouldn't think that she's like Sevon's alter ego, and he's just way smarter than we think. And
there's no way that Savon could also be in the chat.
No, that's what
I'm saying. I think he's just smarter than we think, and it's his like.
What if it's Savon's wife?
What if it's Rosemary?
All right. Last thing. Dubai invites went out. I don't have confirmation of whether or not these athletes have accepted, but I think they have. Does Dubai hold the same weight as it used to?
No. Sorry, Mr. Sheik, but it's
the second you stopped being a CrossFit championship, you lost your.
And it has not. I agree, but it has nothing to do with that.
You're right. I'm just saying, since that happened, it's lost. Right. It's. I mean, the winners don't go anymore. Like if you look at these names, so far, Chandler Smith is the biggest name. Lazar,
Roman,
Ricky and Roman. So the men's field, I think, is a little bit more stout. But what I can't help but notice is how
Roman's always done it. He's done it every year.
Non-North American this athlete roster is.
Well, it's in Dubai, man.
I know, but
is it Jorge
a bunch of Americans used to go.
Is it Jorge and Chandler? Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and
Michael Smith.
Roman's
North American.
Yeah.
He got his permanent residency, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. So U.S. people now.
Yeah. So two on the men's side. Women's side, I think, has a few more.
Yeah,
it's basically Invictus going over there.
But they're not high-ranking North American women. Sorry for those who pisses off. Emily Rolfe.
No, I think it's a good competition for these athletes to try to make the next jump. Like I know Brittany Weiss, I think, is going individual. I assume Devin Kim might be trying to. I mean, this is turning into a competition where it's that just outside the games tier want to go. which I think is fine.
I still think it belongs because there are games athletes there. I mean, Ricky and Roman are there, right? Dahlstrom is a games athlete. She got unlucky on her lane. Elisa Fuliano. Like, there are games athletes, Emily Rolfe. But I think this competition belongs in the big three, Rogue, Wadapalooza, and Dubai. I think it belongs in that tier. It's just the last one of the tier. Does that make sense?
Did it ever have a chance of being
I thought that was the end of your sentence.
No, did it ever have I'm so bad about it. Did it ever have a chance of being the premier competition?
Like Rogue?
Yeah.
They tried. They just started throwing money out there.
When Matt was going, it was big. Yeah. If the winner of Dubai ends up getting $250,000, it'll be the premier. If the Sheik really cared, then just give him $250,000. I bet you the big names go do it.
What was the paycheck for the first place when it first started? Wasn't it like 150 or something? Like, it was a big number.
I don't think so. I think it was 50,000. But the last workout they gave 30,000.
Okay.
Like, I think
I remember.
I thought it was bigger. The first
qualifier, you got paid to basically compete in the qualifier.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, no one signed up for it, and they had money for people who basically didn't even sign up. Like, they had money that far down. And so if you signed up, you got money the first year. I remember Zach Smith, the brothers who used to work, or Coach L used to train. Anyway, what's up? Sorry.
Not sure. Will Brandstetter. Seems like all of the off-season comps are not as top-heavy anymore as they used to be.
No, agreed.
It goes to what John was saying. You don't want to deload and compete and then take another week off. You can't train. So the season format just doesn't sit well for that.
Right.
It doesn't.
Is Wadapalooza proper, Miami, the only well-placed time for
proper
us,
Miami?
Yeah. For us to see high-level, top-tier athletes compete.
Is the Souter brothers? Is that who you were thinking of?
That's who I was talking about. Yeah. Yeah.
I would say Rogue is probably the absolute best place if you don't have to qualify.
I agree, because you can just kind of train full time and then just show up, and like you don't have to deload. Like, you just show up with what you are. You maybe take a couple days off before the competition.
Yeah, and like Wadapalooza, you're still only a month out, less than a month out from the start of the Open, maybe a month out. So, like, you're still putting yourself out there of, do you get a tweak? Do you hurt yourself? I don't think they worry about too much about that, but if something does happen and you tweak a knee or a shoulder, you don't have a whole lot of time to get ready for the Open. So that'd be my one concern on that piece of it.
So November is probably the best time that we could possibly have.
Which, I mean, that's kind of where Dubai is. That's where Down Under is. So I think once they started kind of taking away the prize money and not making it as big as it was, it seemed like they were trying to take over and be the place where you wanted to go compete, make the most money. And Rogue kind of filled that gap. And now they're trying to reinvent themselves. And I think this competition could be pretty close. Like, I don't see anybody on the women's side anyway, like running away with it. Right? Like, it should be a pretty good competition. It's just not top 10 athletes on the women's side anyway.
So I efforted the prize money thing. 100,000 to the winner, and then 10,000 per event win.
Yeah, so you could win some pretty big money.
So I think Fraser had like 150,000 walked away, and I think that's where he got that number, because he walked away one year with that much money. But and that was the most it was, but it was like that for like 2 years, and then that
was before Rogue, I think, too. So
yes. Well, 2019.
There was nothing else there yet.
And then it went down. It's gone down to 50,000 since.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's invite only. There's no qualifier, so no 10-page descriptions. So good on Dubai for that. Just invites. I'll leave you with one last question. Rogue is an invite, Dubai is an invite. Do we like the invite only for some of, like we're saying these are the top tier, right? Like the biggest competitions are pretty much invite only. Do we like that, or do we want people to actually have to give people opportunities to get into it?
I like that Rogue has that some people can fight in. I wish the rules were a little bit more strict, I think, but I like that you can qualify for Rogue, even if it's only a few.
I agree with Tyler. I think we need more standards for how you get in Rogue. Like the qualifier needs way more standards than it has. I need 20 pages per workout. No, I like how Rogue is because it's very it is exclusive to the top sphere of people, and I think that's why the top people do it, plus the money. But Rogue is the best competition for the top games athlete. All the top games athletes all do Rogue. It's like Waterpalooza one year. It was like the men's race was really good, and none of the women did it. It was really weird because nobody good on the women's side, like top 5, top 10, was in it. But Rogue, it's never like that. It's always the top people. They invite those people. You got a shot to compete. You got to win the qualifier. Top 5 qualifier. I think they do it right. I would like that to be the case for. I don't know if you could do the same with Dubai and Wadapalooza, but in Dubai, I think it should just be a qualifier.
I don't think anybody wanted to qualify for it. That was the problem. Like they weren't getting as much interest into it, especially when it was in between everything. I remember Con Porter last year was doing he had 3 weeks in a row of qualifiers last year, just crazy. So Dubai kind of got rid of that. Mason Mitchell qualifiers always end up dead last, right? Chandler Smith did not.
Yeah, and that I don't think because I couldn't remember who qualified last year. And I don't think they played that story up enough, and it's because Chandler,
Olivia Kerstetter, Jack Farlow, they were down there. They were down there in the bottom.
But they should make them wear like a jersey or something that's different from the others, so that way, no, I'm serious, because I want to play up that story of these people had to qualify to be here, and let's see how they do. Now it'd be a little bit more romantic, I guess, if they were like actual nobodies, but Chandler, we know
you're with us, but not really.
Right.
Yeah,
I think they like their Rogue baseball jerseys that everybody got. If everybody got the Rogue's always the coolest things, in my opinion. You got a baseball bat that had your little thing on it, and you got a Rogue jersey, a baseball jersey. It looked really cool. If I qualified and I didn't get that, and they gave me a T-shirt that said I qualified, I would be so pissed off. Okay.
Yeah.
But for Dubai and Wadapalooza, Wadapalooza has a qualifier, right? They don't.
A lot. No. I mean, if you're, what is it? If you're at the games, if you're at the games, you can compete. If you can go team, you just have to have a third member. Has to be 2 of the 3 have to be from the games. The teams, top 3 teams, can all send their athletes as teams. So they have a lot, and like Dylan said, they don't have a cap. So if all 40 athletes from the games decided to say, yeah, I'll compete, they'd figure out and make it work. They just know that a lot aren't going to do that. So they just have it kind of wide open. But yes, there is a qualifier to get into it as well. They just have a lot of automatic invites.
And Dubai is all automatic invite?
This year it is.
I don't think any competition should be all automatic invite.
At that level?
Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. Like we said, there aren't any good North Americans. They were the ones who invited people.
Right.
And maybe they all said no. I don't know. But
Yeah.
like I think any big competition with money on the line, it should not be invite only. I think it's okay to be exclusive, but there should always be a little bit of a ticket in.
Yeah.
Where if you're fit enough, you deserve to be at the table and not given some hand-me-down T-shirt that makes you a different person because you made the competition.
I feel you. All right. Good show, guys. Before we head off, one last time, head over to vindicate.com. I don't know if you were here when you saw this, John, but the barbell spin shirts are live, pre-sale right now. Go ahead and get yours. So there it is. Looks exactly like the media shirts, but you just don't have media on the back. So
this is exclusive.
Special.
This is my qualifier T-shirt. I've qualified in the media, right?
Exactly. The rest, you just get a plain back, but you do get the red barbell spin T-shirt, and then there's several options there if you like the crop, the muscle tank, or the racerback. So head over to vindicate.com. It's in the comments. Have until next Friday to place your orders. Use spin for 15% off. If you are a Patreon member, a code will be produced tomorrow morning. You'll get a little bit more off. So hold off until tomorrow if you are on the Patreon. If you're not, go ahead and sign up, and you'll basically get some money back by doing that. So thank you, guys. Till next week.